All right, welcome back. I'm Steve. Let's talk about volume. So progressive overload, as we previously talked about, is progressive in volume, intensity, and the weight on the bar or the dumbbell, whatever the case may be. Today we're going to focus on volume. That means how much work do you need to do within a given week. So for example, let's take the chest. Especially for guys like to focus on the chest. How do you put size on in terms of your chest? What's the minimum number of volume or sets that I need to complete in a week? And the answer is 12. So it's a pretty big muscle group. So 12 sets per week. Of course, with good intensity, good form, etc. So that typically is going to be for week 1 and week 2 while you're into the Formidable program. That means at least 6 sets dedicated to chest on the first half of the week and 6 sets dedicated to chest on the second half of the week. Let's take another example. Let's take lateral deltoid. It's the most common muscle group to work in terms of great rounded shoulders, tank top shoulders for the summer. Especially for ladies, this is a common muscle group to focus on. How many sets do you need to do within a given week to tone or add size to your shoulders? The answer is 16. It's a smaller muscle group. You have to work it a little bit more in terms of volume. So that means, let's take that math again. 8 sets at the beginning of the week, 8 sets at the back half of the week. We want to work each muscle group twice per week. One time per week doesn't really do it, or is not maximizing the benefit. It's really hard to do 16 sets all in one workout. Your chances are you're going to peter out those last 4 to 5 sets, 6 sets. You're not going to give the effort because that's too much volume in one workout. So we split it up to twice per week. Let's take 1 or 2 more examples. Let's take biceps. How many sets do you need to do within a given week to add size to your biceps? The answer is 14. So 7. You kind of get the idea. Quads and back, just like the chest, are the 3 big muscle groups. So with quads, you only need 12 sets in a given week. So that means 6 sets dedicated to the front half of the week, 6 sets dedicated to the back half of the week. You know, barbell squats, leg extensions, numerous exercises to develop the quads. So let's come back to the Formidable program. We work in 5-week blocks, right? And we know progressive overload principles, you have to add volume as you go along within that 5-week period. So week 1 and 2, you're sticking, let's go to the chest again, 12 sets per week. Week 1 and 2, you're just hitting 12 sets. You're focusing on maybe adding weight to the bar, good form, creating that good baseline. Week 3 comes along. You want to add 1 to 2 sets for the entire week. That means 13 to 14 total sets for the week. And then the next week comes along. Try to add 1 or 2 more sets. And then you can kind of see where that's going throughout the 5 weeks. You're trying to constantly add 1 or 2 sets for the week, not at each workout, but for the week. So for example, with chest, if you're doing 6 sets on Monday, you did 6 on Friday, the next week rolls around, you do 6 on Monday, and then you do 7 on Friday. Okay, so you're constantly adding volume. You're not adding a lot, you're just adding more volume as you go along. Same example would be for quads or bicep or whatever muscle groups you've chosen. You want to continue to add volume until you reach the peak at that 5th week, where you're more than likely, by that time you've added 3, 4, or even 5 sets from where you started. That's how progressive overload works. That's why, again, why I emphasize we program a deload week in after that 5th week, because you've really ratcheted up that volume, just like you did with intensity. You've given the muscles every stimulus it needs to grow. So then we take that week off, we deload, we rest, we come back fresh again, we start the cycle over again, usually with more weight on a bar, and you can kind of see how and why that stimulates muscle growth. All right, we'll talk to you on the next video.